Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
And I'm Greg Lloyd. We want to thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30. Our top story tonight, a controversial mega apartment complex on Thomaston Road is approved despite nearby residents' complaints. The sprawling 288-unit complex will be built on 24 acres. The Planning and Zoning Commission voting to rezone the area from agriculture use to residential. And one man is behind bars after he allegedly burglarized a local medical office. Witnesses say Eric Young broke into the First Choice Primary Care on MLK Boulevard around 10 on Sunday morning. Deputies say they found Young inside and injured from breaking in. He's facing felony burglary charges. Download the WGXA News app or go to WGXA.tv for more on all of today's top stories. Well, with 6 days left to prevent a government shutdown, House Republicans are scrambling to pass last-ditch spending bills. Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
Will the government shut down this weekend?
The Biden White House says it's not to blame if the government runs out of money on Saturday, but instead dueling Republicans who can't get their house in order.
We're going to hold them accountable for the reckless cuts they are demanding as a condition for keeping the government open.
Most House Republicans want to pass a short-term spending bill called a CR to keep the government running. But several Trump allies want to axe the budget and focus on individual funding bills, following this directive from the former president. Quote, unless you get everything, shut it down, putting House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in a difficult position.
Look, I'm working everything we can to make sure this doesn't happen. We want to make sure we secure our border, end wasteful spending in Washington.
If his party can't agree, Speaker McCarthy will have a decision to make. Risk a shutdown to keep his job, or turn to Democrats for help.
We only control one half of one branch of government, and that's only by 5 votes. So we do need to stick together.
If not, this would be the 4th government shutdown in a decade, putting pay for millions of government workers and military families on the line.
If he thinks there's any way you're going to strike a deal in 6 days, we're not. We should not endanger our national security or a whole lot of other things in shutting the government down. It's irresponsible.
Meanwhile, a bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced a bill Monday to prevent a shutdown. However, it's unlikely to go over well with conservative House members because it does not cut government spending. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
2 new polls show low marks for President Joe Biden as Democrats are raising concern over his electability for a second term. Janae Bowens has a deeper look at the findings.
New polls signal trouble for President Joe Biden.
There's just this sort of skepticism of Biden based on this sort of, I think, thought that, he's basically too old to do the job. And that's expressed repeatedly in polls. 2
new polls show President Biden's disapproval rating hitting a new high of 56%. 3/4 of voters in both an NBC News poll and a Washington Post ABC News poll say his age is a key issue. And many are unhappy with his handling of the economy. Only 37% approve in the NBC poll, and 44% in the Washington Post ABC poll say they're worse off financially under Biden's presidency. That's the most for any president since 1986.
You hear all of this great news, and then you go into the grocery store and you're still in the aisle where they sell the vegetables and the fruit. You haven't even turned around to the meat, and already you've spent $70.
The president's allies are sticking by his side.
I think he is the strongest candidate, and I believe very strongly that the American people believe that as well.
But the president's recent flub while speaking at a Congressional Black Caucus event this weekend isn't helping.
LLJ Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs.
The president earned the Donkey of the Day on the hip-hop morning show, The Breakfast Club.
Joe Biden should not need a teleprompter to know there's not 2 J's in LL Cool J.
This highlights the waning enthusiasm amongst younger voters, blacks, and Latinos for the upcoming election, all key demographics for Democrats.
Biden's approval rating is bad, but it was also bad during the midterms last year. And that was an election where the Democrats, did okay.
Experts tell me polls a year out from the election can't tell the entire story. But with voters expressing concerns of both President Biden and former President Donald Trump, next year's election is sure to be a close one if they face off again. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
A showdown between two of the nation's high-profile governors. Florida Republican Ron DeSantis will go head-to-head with California Governor Gavin Newsom. The debate taking place in person in Georgia on November 30th and will be broadcast on Fox News with anchor Sean Hannity set to moderate. The debate comes following months of animosity and challenges between the two. Governor DeSantis will take time out of his 2024 run for the White House for this debate. Newsom is supporting President Biden for re-election, though is considered to be a potential Democratic presidential candidate himself in future races.
Plenty of sunshine and very warm temperatures across middle Georgia today. I don't know about you, Greg, but I was like, it's a little too hot for September.
Amanda, I think we got spoiled last week is what it is. I did notice it a little bit warmer. And meteorologist Ryan Mirando is live in the Skywatch Weather Center and says some cooler temperatures and better rain chances are ahead. Hey, I'm glad you're over there in the Weather Center and not here harassing us.
What do you mean? I never do. From the outside, you know, it's always very hot. And the past 3 days, our temperatures have really been ramping up. Last Thursday and Friday were spectacular. Yesterday and today, we made it into the low 90s. Our average high is 86 degrees. We're about 5 and 6 degrees above that. But it looks great outside from the inside here in the air conditioning. Looking out to Dublin with our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network. Not a cloud in the sky, but temperature is still 90 degrees. We will have some clouds that'll be streaming in tonight, so it's not going to be as cold, down to 68 degrees in Macon, many of us in the mid to upper 60s. It's really not as cold as it's been the last few weeks with those mornings, but feeling a little balmy. And tomorrow we'll have increasing clouds, 66 degrees at 7 o'clock, 86 degrees by 1, with some of those cloudier conditions increasing for a high of 88 degrees tomorrow. So another warm day, but these clouds are all thanks to a stalled out front that's going to be sitting over top of us for this entire week. I'll break down what this means for our rain chances coming up in the Skywatch Weather 10-day forecast. So Greg.
Thank you, Ryan. Now is a great time to download the WGXA weather app. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download the app straight to your smartphone. Ryan's back in less than 20 minutes with your 10-day forecast.
The remnants of what was once Tropical Storm Ophelia continues to bring gusty winds and rain to the northeast. Katie Byrne has the story.
2 days after being downgraded from a tropical storm, Ophelia is still drenching the northeast. Coastal flooding, life-threatening waves, and heavy rain being felt from Washington to New York City. In New Jersey's Wildwood area, the storm created waves of up to 15 feet in some areas over the weekend.
It's one of the highest tides we've had in the past few months.
And the rough waters won't be dying down anytime soon. Forecasters warn Ophelia is still expected to drop several inches of rain over parts of the Mid-Atlantic and New England.
Do not enter the water. There's still going to be rip tides and the surface is still going to be rough.
Ophelia made landfall near Emerald Isle, North Carolina Saturday with near hurricane force winds of up to 70 miles per hour. The storm quickly weakened on land, but not before causing significant flooding in the state's riverfront communities. Strong wind gusts also knocking down trees and power lines, leaving more than 70,000 people across the Mid-Atlantic in the dark during the height of the storm. As the storm moves out, cleanup efforts are now underway in several coastal communities, crews working to restore power and clear roadways. And the wet and windy weather may not be over yet. Meteorologists are keeping a close eye on another tropical storm churning in the Atlantic named Philippe. In Sandy Hook, New Jersey, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
More Americans are personally feeling the impacts of climate change. According to the latest Associated Press NORC poll, nearly 9 in 10 Americans say they've experienced at least one extreme weather event in the past 5 years, whether that's flooding, extreme heat, severe storms, wildfires, or drought. That number is up 79% from who said so in April. Now, 64% of U.S. adults say they believe the extreme weather events are caused at least partly by climate change. That's up 10% points from April.
Elected officials from California to Texas to New York are asking the federal government to do much more.
They are, Amanda. They're dealing with thousands of migrants arriving to their towns and cities with not enough resources to help with them. Now, Christine Frizzell brings us that story.
Despite the dangerous and at times deadly journey for migrants traveling to the United States, pictures like this tell a story that will continue, says Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar.
You got to deport people, and you got to show those images of people being deported. When was the last time we saw people going the other way instead of just seeing people flow in?
The numbers of people encountered at the southern border last month just released, breaking an August record with more than 230,000 overall. A new Washington Post ABC News poll showing approval of President Biden's handling of the border at just 23% and disapproval at 62%.
It's a national security threat, drugs and people on the terrorist watch list, economic security threat. Even the mayor of New York says it's too much. His city can't take it.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams just announced he'll limit single adult migrants to just 30 days in city-run shelters, with fears the right to shelter laws there have become a magnet. Adams, part of a growing group of Democratic mayors, blaming President Biden and the federal government for not doing enough. Without a plan from Washington, some state lawmakers putting forth their own to try to take business away from human traffickers and instead charge migrants $2,000 to be assessed and enter the country legally.
It was found that they had $2,000 to $5,000 in their pockets because that's what they have to pay the cartel and the human smugglers to cross them. If we took that industry away and the state of Texas charged a processing for an ID with an RFID chip so that we could process them through our dry land ports.
There are signs relief could be ahead after a new agreement was just reached. Mexico has agreed to deport migrants from its border cities back to their home countries and to take new actions to deter migrants from entering the United States. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Coming up, some special guests made their way to the Georgia Peanut Festival. An update on the beloved Georgia couple after the break.
It's a big week of season premieres, including some new shows coming right here to Fox 24's lineup. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with a preview.
Fan favorite Fox series are back. Here's what's hot on Fox.
They taste of absolutely gold.
Monday, Chef Gordon Ramsay takes on restaurant revamps with the return of Kitchen Nightmares.
I've done my homework. So by the time I get here, I've done all the due diligence. We have a great team behind me from the art team, the Renault team, the culinary team. And then prior to me coming in here, my team are in here undercover.
I can't do it. I can't do it. That's followed by the season 2 premiere of Special Forces World's Toughest Test.
Name that tune.
Tuesday, sports stars play for charity on Celebrity Name That Tune. Then it's an encore of hit drama 911 Lone Star.
I cannot wait to see this.
Wednesday is The Masked Singer Season 10 premiere.
Taking all the best elements of the prior 9 seasons, incorporating them, bringing back our favorite and most lovable characters and contestants.
Along with our theme nights that we have Harry Potter, we've got Disco Night, and we've got Elton John.
Go big or go home. After that, it's the new game show Snake Oil, hosted by David Spade. with contestants deciphering real versus fake product pitches for life-changing money. Thursday starts season 22 of Hell's Kitchen, The American Dream.
Unlock your imagination.
Then it's a party boat challenge as LEGO Masters Season 4 kicks off the ambitious builds.
We have volcanoes exploding. We're building houses for kittens. That's one of my
Houses
faves.
for kittens, roller coasters.
Fox Sports presents WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Sunday is an all-new animation domination with The Simpsons Season 35, new series Krapopolis, Bob's Burgers, and Family Guy. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Now entering this first full week of fall, but it's still feeling a little bit like summer out there, but dew points aren't too bad. We're mostly in the upper 50s and low 60s. That's really that comfortable, refreshing air mass. So it's not feeling too humid outside, but temperatures feeling rather summer-like. 91 degrees right now in Macon, down from our high of 92, which is 6 degrees above average, 86 in Thomaston, 89 in Warner Robins, and 90 degrees right now in Dublin. I don't think we're going to have any more 90-degree days looking ahead, but we did have some the past 2 days. Let's go live on our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network. Looking out to Macon, we have some bright blue sky, just some fair weather cumulus clouds, a little bit of a wind out of the south, but it still is rather warm, 91 degrees. So feeling a little bit like summer, but things are going to be changing over the next few days. This band of clouds that's pushing into the southeast, this is going to be a stalled out front, which is going to increase a little bit of that humidity and bring some rain chances. So the muggy meter tomorrow, still not feeling too bad. I think Wednesday will be the most humid day, dew points near 70 degrees. So it will be a touch more humid really all of this week, especially compared to last week where dew points were in the low 60s and upper 50s. But I think Wednesday will be the most active day with the stalled out front in full force, more clouds around, a few storms with a high up to 83 degrees. By Thursday, the front begins to stall and move further to the south and really break apart. So we'll have increasing sun throughout the day on Thursday, but a lot cooler, a high up to only 9 degrees, so about 12 degrees cooler by the end of the week. Now, tropics are still active too. This is Tropical Storm Philippe. Notice it's not very organized, no kind of clear eye. This is a tropical storm encountering a lot of wind shear, so it's not going to intensify very much, and it's not going to be affecting anything on land. But this is our 16th named storm of the year so far. Usually by this date, on an average year, we have about 10 or 11 named storms. We're running around 6 storms early, so it's been quite an active year so far. Tonight, it's a little bit balmy as well, down to 68 degrees in Macon, 63 in Warner Robins, 63 degrees in Dublin, and 66 degrees in Sparta, with some of those clouds beginning to increase. But tomorrow will be a day where we could have a few isolated showers, increasing clouds, very warm though, still up to 88 degrees. We're staying out of the 90s, but still a few degrees above average. And in your 10-day forecast tomorrow, partly cloudy, increasing clouds throughout the day, a touch humid, up to 88 degrees. Wednesday, with those clouds increasing, a few showers around, not going to be a washout, even a few rumbles of thunder, much cooler, up to only 83 degrees. Thursday looks to be the coolest, starting with a lot of clouds in the morning, but then we increase the sun by the afternoon. The high only up to 80 degrees. That's 6 degrees below average, but this is going to open the door for an amazing end of the week and a weekend. Look at this bright sunshine. There'll be no rain chances. 82 degrees on Friday, mostly sunny, and the weekend is going to be spectacular, right in time as we can have a break from work. 82 degrees on Saturday, nice humidity, lots of sunshine, not going to have to worry about any rain. We do it again on Sunday, lots of sun, up to 83 degrees, and even next Monday's looking pretty nice. Lots of sunshine, sunny skies, temperature up to 83 degrees. Lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop Fish and Game forecast. Peaks in the good category at midnight both times.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen. I'm here again today at All About Animals Rescue here in Macon Bibb, and I'm joined again today with Lisa and also with Abby. And guess who we are going to talk to you about today?
This precious girl. Her name is Patricia.
Patricia.
Couple things about her. She's about 3 years old, and she's been here a while also. We really want her to find her forever home. Gary, somebody loves her so much
She's
that
such a
they're
sweet
willing
baby.
to sponsor her, meaning they'll pay her adoption fee to the right home, to an approved home. So she's got to be special if somebody's willing to do that, right?
Exactly. And like you heard, she does get along great with other dogs, and so you wouldn't have to be an only. So listen, if someone would like to go ahead and adopt Patricia, how would they do that?
Send us a message on Facebook, All About Animals Rescue, and let us know that you saw her on TV and you'd like to set up a meet and greet.
All right, let's go ahead and take care of that today. Let's find Patricia a really, really good home. Thank you, Lisa and Abby.
Thank you.
Well, take a look at this. The Carters had some fun over the weekend getting out of the house and enjoying a ride through Plains for the Peanut Festival. The Carter Center released a statement that said in part it was a beautiful day for President and Mrs. Carter to enjoy a ride through the Plains Peanut Festival. And just a week before he turns 99. Now the outing comes more than 6 months after Carter announced he was entering hospice care and would stop all medical intervention. It is unclear what is ailing the former president. Now, Mrs. Carter was diagnosed with dementia last May. And if you've ever traveled to Plains, you know what a wonderful influence that they've had not only on the world, but on Plains and well beyond. They are known as being the most down-to-earth, friendly, lovable people. In fact, I think it's safe to say they're friends with everyone in the city of Plains. Did you get that impression?
Sweet.
Amanda, I don't know if you've ever been to Plains when we both worked at the same station that we...
So I've never been to Plains, but I have worked with some of their representatives down there, and they are so nice. So nice.
And well loved too. And and I don't know if you ever do get a chance to go to Plains and you haven't been. You know, that was the Peanut Festival that they're having there, which is a really big deal. But you guys, one of the biggest things that they have in Plains that our friend Kevin Roble, Amanda, loves is the
boiled peanuts.
He
always
loves
talks about
the boiled peanuts. But they also have the peanut ice cream. Have you ever tried peanut ice cream? If you love ice cream, it is a delicacy, and they have all things peanuts and so many things dedicated to the Carters downtown, like, you know, a little at the train depot, you see the presidential sign that advertised his candidacy. way back when he ran all those years ago. So neat thing.
1976.
1976, it certainly was. So really
That's
cool
sweet.
stuff there. It was. Well, we want to thank all of you for joining us for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Stay cool this evening, Middle Georgia, if you can. It's a warm one out there.